Hi, my name is Lucha Martínez de Luna. I am Associate Curator of Latino Heritage at History Colorado. The Latino Heritage Department is a new department at History Colorado, and we are striving to develop, support, and coordinate projects that preserve, promote, and celebrate Latino culture, heritage, and experience in Colorado. The Latino Heritage Project is striving to link generations of Hispano, Chicano, Mexicano, and Latino families and communities to the narrative of Colorado's history. The project focuses on expanding our research archives at the center, collecting, which I'll talk to you about in a few moments, documenting community, families, and individuals, and also conducting oral history interviews. The research archives, obviously we focus on the history of communities, people, individuals, customs and traditions, and cultural expressions. The oral history interviews are focused on describing items that are being donated and images like the ones you see on the right, events, organizations in the community, and families and the community at large. We also are, as I mentioned before, with the community is also documenting churches, Latino congregations of churches where there's a heavy Latino presence, organizations, events, and schools. So in our contemporary collecting, I'm just highlighting a few of the collections that we have started. One of them is the Mariachi Vasquez family collection. This is one of the few just family mariachi groups in the state, in the country, and actually in the state of Colorado. Unfortunately, last year, Raul Vasquez passed away. So the family reached out to us, and we, one of the first items that has come in from the collection is his mariachi suit that we are currently in the process of working with the conservator to preserve his suit. And then the contemporary collecting has also focused on the COVID-19 collecting project that the entire museum is focusing on. I have been reaching out to very well-known local artists that have been creating art during the quarantine and kind of talking about how our community has been affected by the pandemic. The picture on the left is by Tony Ortega, and the picture on the right is by Carlota Espinosa. Carlota Espinosa is one of the first Chicana artists in Colorado. And here are two other pieces. The one on the left is by Emmanuel Martinez. He is the first Chicano muralist in Colorado. And Silvia Montero. She does a lot of collages and photographs, and this one is specifically focusing on a story, a Native American story. And a lot of these representations are kind of talking about how much the pandemic is affecting the Latino communities and also the Native American communities here in Colorado. And we are also doing a lot of, as I mentioned, kind of more contemporary, focusing on collections of individuals that are underrepresented in the museum. And this is, there is a very large lowrider community in Colorado and in Denver. So Armando Geneyro has been focusing on documenting the lowrider tradition and culture here. And these are a few of his photographs. And we also are, I talked about doing the Latino Heritage Project, which is essentially sending out questionnaires to families to fill out. And then once we have those questionnaires, we reach out to the families, and they have been donating copies of family photos to include in the collection. And this is the Duran family collection. And also in response to the social movement during the summer, the Black Lives Matter, we did a History in the Making mural project where we invited local artists to describe their experiences and how they observed how the community was reacting and vocalizing about the social protests. And so on the left, we invited Jolt. He's a very well-known graffiti artist to do a piece for the collection. And on the right is Asha Renee, and she did a wonderful piece of her son talking about how Black children are basically, she was commenting about the future of her son and worried about his well-being. And then we also invited, part of this project, Leticia Tanguma, who is a very well-known social justice artist, and she is actually standing with her father, Leo Tanguma, and both of them actually did the murals at Denver International Airport. And then on the right is Kier Dawkins. His family flew down from Mississippi to come see his work. And these murals are currently on exhibit at during the American Democracy exhibition. And then we recently, it was the very first project with the Join Up, which is a virtual programming event that will be essentially highlighting the role of the equine culture here in Colorado and the impact it has made in the state. And the very first event was celebrating the Charro tradition here in Colorado. And we invited local Charro experts to comment about the Charro culture, which one of the most well-known Charros here in the country, who began here in Colorado. And Roberto Torres, his suit on the right, he donated to the collection, and in the center is one of the numerous Charro associations, which this one is Tres Margaritas. And we are currently actively collecting to build our Latino Heritage Department. And if you have any questions, please reach out, contact me. And if you would like to fill out a Latino Heritage Project questionnaire, just feel free to contact me. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you.